Hi guys! This is the LaserMaster 2 Pro, a laser engraver from Ortur, and in this video we will assemble it and get it ready to work. You want to know more? Then stay tuned! Hi guys, welcome back! My name is Rui, and this is the Rui Raptor YouTube channel. If you want to help us out, you can by giving this video a like and subscribe the channel. You can also help by joining our Patreon page or by clicking on any of the affiliate links posted below in the video description. So, the LaserMaster 2 Pro is the most recent laser engraver from Ortur. The basic kit costs around $460 and has an engraving area of 400 by 400 millimeters. The laser that is included is the Fixed Focus LU2-4 model. This is a diode laser with a wavelength of 450 plus or minus 5 nanometers and a max luminous power of 5.5 watts. So, let's first check what's inside the box. Right at the top, we have the user manual, the focus adjustment instructions, and several different certificates. Next, we have a couple of metal profiles. These have a scale printed on them. Then it's the laser module, the power supply, a metal cylinder and set screws, screws and brackets, some metal parts, safety goggles, more metal plates, the controller which has the main board inside, a bag with tools and belts, a couple more metal profiles, and under the X-axis we can find the USB cable, a cable track, and finally the X gantry assembly. And this is everything that came inside the package. As for the metal profiles, there are a couple of 460mm long ones for the X-axis and a couple of 540mm long ones for the Y-axis. All four profiles have a scale printed on them. The controller is small but includes several features. It has a DC 24 volts power input connector at the left, the USB connector. Next is a connector for an offline controller. This one is not included in the package but can be found on their website. Next are the power on and reset buttons, and facing up is the flame light indicator and the emergency button. To activate the emergency button, just push it down and it will stay down. To deactivate the button, we simply rotate it clockwise a little bit. And at the left is the connector that will connect to all the motors and stops and laser. There's also a small sensor at the back side, and this one will turn the laser off if it detects flames while engraving. And this is the laser module. As we mentioned, it's a fixed focus model, and it's equipped with a 40 by 20 millimeters fan between the board and the laser heatsink. The module is also equipped with a small protective cover for the laser. It's possible to open the cover and adjust its height. On their website, they have a long table indicating which materials it can work with and recommended settings to use. The power supply is a small one, and its output is 24 volts and 2 amps. The included USB cable is a nice 1.8 meter long one. Inside the tool bag, we can find several things such as a couple of belts, a brush, zip ties, a support for the focus tool, several test materials, and a black card that can be used to adjust the focus of the laser. As for the safety goggles, these are the standard ones that are included with these type of diode lasers. However, and as we mentioned on all our laser videos, these goggles do not say which type of laser they protect from or which grade they are. On the PDF manual there's a section about protection and it stated which type of goggles you should buy. So if you want to be truly safe, buy safety goggles from a trusted seller. Okay, now for the assembly. Grab the 4 metal profiles and identify the 540mm long ones and the 460mm long ones. Please note the scale that is printed on them and their orientation. The longer profiles are for the y-axis, and they must be oriented like this with the numbers on the other side. The shorter profiles are for the x-axis, and they must be oriented with the 0 mark at the left. Next, get the M5x25 screws, the corner brackets, and the slot nuts. Take one of the shorter x-axis profile and insert a couple of slot nuts on the side that will be facing out. Do the same for the other x-axis profile. You can use the numbers from the scale to identify which side you need to insert the nuts in. Next are the corner brackets. These brackets have cutouts on one of the sides, so you need to slide the brackets in the x-axis profiles with those cutouts facing in. And then slide in the y-axis profile. Insert the screw at the side and tighten it. Make sure the profiles are aligned and square, and then tighten the 2 set screws from the corner brackets. Do the same for the other side. Don't forget to confirm that the profiles are aligned and squared when tightening the screws. Then repeat the procedure for the back x-axis profile. On the front x-axis profile, move the slot nuts to the right side. The left one, you can align it at the 17 mark. Then, get a couple of M5x8 screws and the controller and secure it at the left of the front profile. On the right side, you need to use the slot nut. And at the left side, you will use the threaded hole from the y-axis profile. Next, get a flat washer and one of the metal feet. And secure it at the front right corner, using 2 more M5x8 screws. On one side you use the threaded hole from the y-axis profile, and on the inner side you use the slot nut. The washer must be used on the outer side only. Inside the bag with belts and test materials, you also have a printed part. Take a couple of M5x8 screws and T-nuts and use them to secure it on the front profile. Next, grab one more T-nut, an M5x8 screw, a washer, and this cable track support mount. Place the screw, washer, and T-nut on the smaller end. Then, flip the frame upside down and install the mount under the left y-axis profile. Flip the frame back and get a couple of slot nuts. These must be inserted from the back side of the left y-axis profile. And then, take the gantry assembly and with this orientation, slide it on the y-axis profiles. Now you can take the remaining feet and install them on the back profile. Next is the smaller cable track support mount and a couple of M3x5 screws. This needs to be installed next to the Y-axis stepper motor. Before moving to the next step, move the axis back and forth and check if they are moving smooth. The wheel's grip can be adjusted by turning the eccentric nuts. On the Y-axis, they are located on the bottom wheels. To adjust the wheel's grip, use a wrench and turn them. The wheel's grip cannot be too loose or too tight. If they are too loose, the carriage will wobble. And if they are too tight, the wheels will deform and will make the carriage harder to move. We have a video that explains this in detail, so check the video description below for the link. For the Y-axis, you need to check and adjust both sides. Now move the X-axis as well and check if it's moving smoothly. Same as before, the wheel's grip can be adjusted, but in case of the X-axis, there's only one eccentric nut located on the bottom wheel. Next are the belts. There are two belts, one for each side. Start with the right side. Take one of the belts and with the teeth facing down, insert it between the pulley and the wheel, and pass it under the wheel. Pull it until it reaches the end of the profile. Take the other end and do the same for the other wheel. Pull the belt and make sure it sits perfectly around the pulley. Next, remove the screw with the washer and pass the belt through the small opening. Pull it until you have 3 cm out and then tighten the screw. The washer will pinch and secure the belt. From the back side, remove the screw with the washer as well and then pull the belt to stretch it. Place the screw and washer back and tighten it while pulling the belt to keep the belt stretched. Then, move the axis back and forth to confirm that the belt is stretched and it's moving without any gap. The procedure for the left belt is the same. However, on the front corner, you need to install this metal plate that includes the Y-axis end stop with a couple of M5x8 screws. The plate is installed on the front left corner, so you need to slide the slot nuts to that corner. Before tightening the screws, pass the belt through the hole next to the switch. Leave the same 3 cm of extra belt and tighten the screws. At the back left is the same. Remove the screw with the washer, pass the belt through the opening, and then pull the belt while tightening the screw with the washer to maintain the belt tension. Once again, move the axis to confirm that the belt is tensioned and it moves correctly. Next is the cable chain. Locate the side with the large connector. This end is installed next to the controller. For this, you need a couple of M3x6 screws. Make sure the side of the cable chain is aligned with the edge of the support mount. Do the same for the other end of the chain. This one needs to be aligned with the support mount as well. Next, grab one M5x8 screw and nut. These must be installed on this hole right here. Don't tighten it just yet. We will come back to this in a few minutes. Take the big connector from the cable chain and connect it to the controller. Make sure it's correctly inserted and locks in place. The 2 red and black wires will connect to the Y-axis and stop switch. Connect the red wire to the pin that is at the same side of the metal trigger, and the black wire to the middle pin. At the other end, there are a few connectors with labels on them. Start by connecting the cables with the X on the label. Then connect the cable with the Y label to the Y-axis stepper motor. The red and black wires will connect to the X-axis and stop switch. Same as before, connect the red wire to the pin that is at the same side of the metal trigger, and the black wire to the middle pin. The wire with the fork terminal needs to be secured between the screw and the plate. There's only one cable left, and it's the one with the L label on it, but we will get back to it in a minute. Next, and at the other side, connect the cable to the X-axis stepper motor. Take one of the zip ties and use it to secure the cable. Next is the cable for the laser. Take the end with only one connector and connect it to the cable with the L letter. Then place the cable like this, and use a couple of zip ties to secure the cable. This will hold the cable upwards and keep it from being caught while the axes are moving. Use one more zip tie to secure the cables to the cable chain. This way it will prevent them from being pulled. Do the same for the other end of the cable chain. Next, grab two big adjustment screws and the laser module. On the X-axis carriage there are slots that will be used to slide the laser module. Use the two adjustment screws, one on each side, to secure the laser module in place. Then loosen the corner screw at the top. Connect the cable to the laser module and secure the wire with the fork terminal with the corner screw. Be careful not to over-tighten the screw, or it will crack the acrylic plate. Next, place the cable like this and secure it with a couple of zip ties. Same as before, this is important because it will keep the cable up and away from the moving axis. At the end, move the axis around to make sure that the cable does not get caught. Also make sure that the end stops are being triggered correctly, and that the extra belt does not interfere with it. This cylinder is the focus adjustment tool. It can be stored on the printed part at the front. And the assembly is now complete. To adjust the laser focus on this machine is super easy. Just place the material that we want to engrave under the laser, and then place the focus adjustment tool between the material and the laser heatsink. Loosen the adjustment screws and lower the laser module until it sits on the tool. Tighten back the adjustment screws and remove the tool. And that's it! The laser should now be on focus. Now all we need to do is turn on the laser engraver and connect it to the computer. Make sure the emergency button is not pressed and connect the power. On the user manual it stated that when connecting the power, there might be sparks, but this is okay and doesn't damage the board. That is true, and we also get sparks when connecting the power. An alternative is to connect the power supply to the outlet after connecting the cable to the controller. Next, connect the USB cable to the controller and to the computer. To turn the engraver on, press the power button for a few seconds. When turning on, the engraver will automatically home the axis by moving to the front left corner. On their website, you can also find instructions, drivers in case your operating system doesn't recognize the engraver, links for software, and firmware updates. As for software, you can use Laser GRBL or Lightburn. We will have a follow-up video about this engraver very soon, and in it, we will show the results and much more, so stay tuned. And that's it, you guys. Thanks for watching. We will see you guys next time. Bye!